Hey guys, Jake Ross here, producer in Austin. The wheels are in motion on several features here in Austin. Let's dive right in and see what's been going on this month. Right now, the Austin design team is completely focused on things related to 3.0 or near-term goals. The core tasks we've been working on mostly are state machines for the first few NPCs we'll be implementing, state machines and organization of animation assets for the mission givers, like Miles Eckhart, and the nav beacon system. The state machines are how we not only visualize how the NPC will behave, but also informs the animation team when and where our animations need to transition between each other. We hand off these state machines to the animators, who then improve the behavior or give it back with feedback. Not only does this drive the animations we need, but it also guides our NPC's behavior setup in Subsumption. The nav beacon system will allow players to create their own roads throughout a given star system. These can be used both in the vastness of space as well as on planetary surfaces. Beacons are physicalized objects that are deployed from ships and give players visual markers to lock onto for quantum travel. They also point to and fly towards when used on a planetoid surface. Players will be able to grant use access to others as well as hack another person's beacon. Both allows you to use someone else's nav beacon. Over time, beacons need to be serviced by the owner, restoring their energy source. Finally, because they're physical objects, you will not only be able to find them, but destroy someone else's beacon, if you so desire, which should make for some fun gameplay decisions. Do I hack it and use it myself? Do I destroy it so others can't travel? Do I sell it to pirates as a potential ambush point? There are lots of opportunities with this new system. We're excited to work on it and see it progress in the future. Finally, Miles Eckhart development is currently in progress. We have been organizing this mission giver's assets, which are being polished by the animation team in our Derby office, creating his state machine, and getting his initial behavior set up and running in Subsumption. Eckhart will be unlocked to the players by accumulating reputation with him, earned by completing other available missions. Once unlocked, you can visit him for a wide variety of missions. The new mission manager will drive his selection, but you'll be able to choose from anything he currently has available. We're really looking forward to getting Eckhart into your hands in 3.0 release. The PU game director Tony Zurovec has had his hands full with several things this month, a major part of which is Subsumption. As a reminder, Subsumption is the data-driven and highly abstracted foundation on which all of the AI and mission logic in Star Citizen is constructed. Tony's finished conversion of the Subsumption tech to Linux for integration with our backend services, and completed the shopping service for game code to start hooking the new shopping tech into. He's reviewed and directed mission scenarios for 3.0 as well. Ship artist Josh Coons has been working on the ship LODs for the Cutlass Black. It's a very consuming task, since our LODs are mostly handmade, and the ship he's working on is quite large with many pieces that have to be optimized. In addition to optimizing the mesh, he also reduces the material IDs as he goes down the LOD chain. This way, the mesh will have less draw calls from a distance and be more efficient. Our server engineers have been working very hard since our last update. We've been providing support for the shopping service, which is a non-diffusion service. This service communicates with diffusion and the game systems through our diffusion gateway. The gateway allows external and non-diffusion services to communicate with the game as if they were internal diffusion services. Recently, we've been focused on integration of the diffusion code into the primary game development stream. This will be deployed with 3.0. This was a massive integration with a lot of moving parts and has required a large amount of collaboration between server engineering team and DevOps. The effort has taken a few weeks to get everything moved over, tested, and in a state where it can be deployed. From an internal perspective, we have been working on a service creation tool. This tool provides a simple-to-use UI, allowing engineers to create new services, add or remove or modify components, and management and resource control. The output of the tool is a basic service shell and set of source files that are customized for the new service. This is a huge time saver and allows new engineers to create services without having to worry about any boilerplate work, and thus allowing for rapid service development. We have started to add Star Citizen-specific extensions to Ooze. For those who don't know, Ooze is a language written by lead server engineer Jason Ely. It's the scripting language that drives diffusion. These extensions expose Star Citizen-specific constructs to diffusion, allowing services to provide more intricate support for gameplay features, helping to move the game into a more distributed architecture. Finally, there has been work on the router mesh functionality. The router mesh distributes services over multiple router endpoints and provides redundant communication paths between other services. The mesh will use a technique to isolate high bandwidth services away from lower bandwidth or more critical services. The primary responsibility of the router mesh is to provide a high levels of service availability and performance. This month on the Persistent Universe animation team, we finished up the two-handed carry animations. This includes standing, crouching, and for 0G. Standing, we can pick up 25 centimeter, 50 centimeter, and 75 centimeter crates. That is the new standard metric for crates in game that you can pick up. We can pick them up from the floor all the way up to a shelf that is 175 centimeters high. Crouching, we will be able to pick up 25 and 50 centimeter crates from the floor all the way to a ledge that is 100 centimeters high. In 0G, we'll be able to grab 25, 50, and 75 centimeter crates floating around in space. Code and tech has hooked it up so that you can retrieve cargo in 0G, EVA back to your ship, stow your acquired loot in your cargo bay. We also did a last-minute mocap shoot in our office when animation director Steve Bender stopped by our Austin studio for a visit. Steve put on the mocap suit and ran around like a crazy person, capturing all of our FPS starts and stops for a stocked rifle locomotion set. We also took this opportunity to get Sandy Gardner in the suit and capture some exercise motion for our female characters when they decided to do a workout and are exercise usable. In this mocap shoot, we stuffed our lead animator Brian Brewer in the suit as well, because we just about killed Steve Bender on the first day and captured needed animations for the crouching carry animations. We are starting work on some specific NPCs so that you can go into a pub, get a drink from an NPC bartender, or go into a shop and buy things from an NPC shopkeeper. Animation is working closely with design to make this experience a fun experience for all. On the ship animation team, we have been continuing our improvements to the cockpit experience. Working with the UK studio's design and programming team, we are in the midst of updating our GeForce Blend Space poses, utilizing a low-pass filter for smoother, smarter camera motion, as well as adjusting the cockpit geometry to allow for button presses. In addition to this, we are creating a system that will allow us to make comms calls within the ships during flight. This month, the DevOps team has been busy optimizing the build and publishing systems. The game builds are growing rapidly as content continues to pour in for 3.0, so we're constantly tweaking and tuning to keep up with the demands of the dev team. Ahmed and his team have been collecting feedback on network performance from our 3 locations and comparing that to internal data so that we can optimize network performance wherever possible. This is an ongoing task, but we've already found some good opportunities for improvement in this area. For May, the Austin QA has been working heavily on regression of bugs, particularly on a massive sweep through our open bugs to see what items are still valid given the new systems and tech coming online for both the PU and Squadron 42. This allowed us to eliminate a considerable number of bugs before they ever reached development, saving our busy developer cohorts time they would have spent investigating issues that no longer were occurring on the latest build. Major testing items for our groups included actor serialization, multi-threaded resource containers, and network transport queue for the engineering teams. We continued testing the moons in the Stanton system for any potential issues, such as collision and performance testing. New vehicles, ships, and FPS items came online throughout the month, including the Bearing P8SC SMG that we were very excited to play with, in addition to testing the continued Item 2.0 implementation, all of which have kept our Arena Commander and Star Marine testers very busy. On the new system front, we've been working very hard testing the new procedural breathing and stamina system, as well as a new air traffic controller. Other projects we've been assisting with have included testing some updates to our current game launcher, primarily bug fixes to our players, but also a few quality of life fixes. We continued providing additional support for the animation groups here in Austin, including mocap file cleanup, supporting setup and teardown for pickup shoots, and in-game video captures for final reviews. Regular editor and engine testing is continued as well, with Austin QA completing regular smokes of the Subsumption editor, procedural planet tools, as well as our normal editor testing. The player relations team has been extremely busy preparing for upcoming 3.0 work as well. The biggest item that players will see is the new player experience that will ultimately go on the website and will match the new content coming up in the game. They'll also be adding to the Avocati ranks in the coming weeks, and are excited to announce that they'll be adding headcount in Austin, Manchester, and Frankfurt. We're getting more and more excited the closer we get to 3.0 release. We have a ton of new content we're pumped to show off and to get into your hands. Thanks for everything you do. Keep it up. We'll see you around.